I'm going to cut across to Pooja Shali, joining us live from the newsroom to break down for us what the autopsy report really says. Pooja, using the autopsy report, flashing it to the media, family members of Anjali call this a murder.
This is the report that has come. It's an autopsy report. Remember that this is as scientific as a report can be with regard to evidence about what happened to the body, and it's absolutely gut-wrenching with the details coming in. This is the brief history about how the body, as in when it was recovered, it was the dead body of adult female of average build. But here how it gets interesting. There are ante-mortem injuries that were reported. Ante-mortem means slightly before the death. Before she took that last breath, there were injuries, and then there were injuries after also, which means that she continued to be dragged for kilometers, and that is why I want you to focus on this, that there were in abdomen, as you can see, there were these injuries that were seen on the chest, exposed from the back of the chest, grinding effects on the ribs and sharpening of the bones. All of this, remember, was primarily because she was dragged for so long. In the spine, this is important. Look closely. Brain matter was missing because the body was dragged for 12 kilometers, must have scraped through her brain and the skull area, the spine, fracture at the lumbar region that was present as well. Now, we are also being told, and this is why the pelvis region was important, that genitally there were no injury present to the genitalia, which means the sexual assault has been ruled out for now. But here it is very important. These are constant. Imagine the number of injuries that she has faced in her body in different parts, specifically the lemur and the spine region. The brain part was completely missing, but what we are being told is very important. I want to just quickly read out what our information has come. Brain matter missing, 14 to 15 injuries after her death, which means she may have taken that last breath due to, of course, the pain and injuries, but because she continued to be dragged, there were additional 14-15 injuries on her body. But the most important bit is the alcohol. Remember the friend, so-called, the person who was an eyewitness, who saw the accident, was part of the collision. She said Anjali was drunk, intoxicated. She was not in her senses. Autopsy report says no alcohol has been found in the body. Why did she then say that she had been drinking? Because autopsy report could not find any alcohol in the body. Importantly, there were definitely fractures in the lumbar region of the spine. Lungs were popped out of the body. If I want to quickly read here, take a look at the details that are coming in about the liver and the gallbladder, all of that. Kidneys were also affected, but it is the right lung, both failed. Ribs exposed from the back of the chest, grinding effect on the ribs, pre-sharpening of the bone, both open with exposition of both the legs. So it was completely her body, specifically the torso region, that got scraped through. But again, I would like our colleague to please focus here, as the brain matter has been missing, fracture at the lumbar region present. Can only imagine what that woman dragged for 12 kilometers faced. Over to you, Nabila.
Yeah, very tragic. It leaves me in shivers just to go through that autopsy report. The number of injuries inflicted on Anjali's body while she was dragged through the streets of Delhi for nearly 12 kilometers. The family called this a premeditated murder. They're not buying the police's version. The police claims that this was not premeditated. It was a case of accident. The men, yes, were drunk, but they did not know that Anjali was entangled under their wheels. Also, the accused very well knew that they had crashed into the vehicle. This is the police's version, while the family, looking at the autopsy report, decoding it, claim that this is a premeditated murder. And Anjali's friend's version, Nidhi, is lying, and that this was an attempt by the police possibly to cover this case up. That's what the family says. But I'm going to cut across to Anjali's friend Nidhi, who claimed a little earlier to India Today, while she spoke exclusively to us. Now, one should remember that Nidhi is a witness in this case. The police have now taken Nidhi as a witness in this case. She's the same girl who ran away from that accident spot, leaving her friend to her fate. Here's what Anjali's friend Nidhi said, claiming that Anjali was drunk that night.
वो उसने बहुत ज्यादा ड्रिंक कर रखी थी, बहुत ज्यादा ड्रिंक कर रखी थी कि वो ना मतलब होश में नहीं थी अपने। और मैं पीछे बैठकर भी मैंने गाड़ी को संभाला कि कहीं कोई हादसा ना जाए। और पहले तो एक बार हम हादसे से बचे, हम दोनों मरते। एक बार ट्रक हमारे आगे जा रहा था, है, उसको गुस्सा आया कि मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड मुझे कैसे छोड़ सकता है, मैं शादी करूंगी, ये है वो, ऐसे ही कुछ उसने बोला। तो वो ट्रक में भेड़ने जा रही थी। हम दोनों उस ट्रक के उस दौरान हम दोनों मरते। वो मैं किस्मत अच्छी थी, मैंने क्या करा, मैंने वो आगे से पीछे से बैठ के मतलब ब्रेक मारे और साइड में करी स्कूटी। मैंने कहा ढंग से चलाएगी तो मैं तुझे चाबी दूंगी। कह रही नहीं, मैं ही मेरी स्कूटी चलाऊंगी, मैं ही चलाऊंगी। उस हादसे से बचे। उस हादसे से बचने के बाद हम आगे गए। आगे जाने के बाद हम कट में घुसे। वो गाड़ी ऐसे आ रही थी। घुसने के बाद वो गाड़ी वाला रुका ही नहीं। उस गाड़ी वाले ने एकदम ठोकी गाड़ी।